Mike Leach is a character that gets under a lot of people's skin. He can be a bit obnoxious and rude at times, and he's certainly arrogant just about all the time. He's gruff. He's definitely not PC. You got to question at times the way he runs a college football program, and there have been cases in the past where you had to question the way he treats college football players. But when it comes to winning on the field and being entertaining, Mike Leach knows how to get it done. He got it done at Texas Tech, a middling Big 12 program that he brought to contention, and he's in the process of doing the same at Washington State. Mark Rogers TV on the New Mexico Bowl with Washington State taking on Colorado State. The Cougars are 6-6, went 4-5 in what most people consider to be the second best conference in college football, the Pac-12. Okay. They lost the opener to Auburn, 31-24, and of course the Tigers are playing for the national championship. Beat USC despite not scoring an offensive touchdown, 10-7. The other impressive showing from Washington State this season, 24-17. Now certainly the Cougars look like the Cougars many times and getting blown out by the best teams in the Pac-12, but those three displays are enough to say that this program's on the rise. Again, 4-5 in the Pac-12 is pretty impressive. All right, let's look at the passing offense because that's where it starts and ends with the Mike Leach football team. You've got Connor Halliday at quarterback, completed 62% of his passes, 4,200 yards passing. They throw it all over the place, 28 touchdowns, 21 picks. A lot of picks, but at the same time, this passing offense was not effective last season in 2012. They gained a lot of yards, but on a lot of underneath stuff, didn't accomplish a whole lot in the passing game and didn't put points on the scoreboard. So the passing offense much more effective here in 2013, and the 28-21 touchdown to interception ratio, a huge improvement. At wide receiver, you've got some playmakers in Vince Mayle, who's a borderline NFL prospect. He's a senior coming out, 40 receptions and 6 touchdowns, along with Gabe Marks at 69 catches, 770 yards and 6 touchdowns, and also Dom Williams, who caught 39 for 644 and 7 touchdowns. The best news for Washington State fans is that Williams and Marks are back. They are sophomores, so they've got 2 more years in Pullman. So, of course, this team throws it all over the place and they score points. They are 4th in the nation in passing offense at 364 yards per game. Let's not be surprised that this team is 123rd in rushing offense. They don't like to run the football. They're averaging just 59 yards running per game. But believe me, that's a huge improvement over 2012. This team was pathetic trying to run the football. The offensive line was atrocious last season and couldn't protect the quarterback. Okay, so they don't like to run the football, but they do, and they actually do it fairly effectively. Marcus Mason, 424 yards, and most importantly, 5.1 yards per carry. Teandre Caldwell, he's just a sophomore, averaging 5.5 yards per carry. Look at the Washington State rushing statistics from 2012. They were barely averaging 3 yards per carry. Now they've got 2 backs at 5.5 and 5.1 yards per carry, a huge improvement. Mike Leach is never going to want to run the football, but at least they keep defenses honest by being able to somewhat run the football. Okay, on defense, again, a move toward respectability this season, specifically with Xavier Cooper, defensive lineman, who was the big playmaker up front with 13.5 tackles for loss and 4 sacks. You've got a senior in Ion Gata, who had 8 tackles for loss and 3 sacks, and also Cache Palacio, who had 6.5 tackles for loss and 4 sacks. But the best player by far on this team, not just the defense, is an NFL prospect at strong safety in Deion Buchanan, who led the team from the safety position in tackles. Never a good sign, but 109 total tackles for him and 5 picks. And he is rated by some as the best safety coming out of college football to the NFL draft in April. Along with another NFL prospect in the kicker, Andrew Fernie, who is considered the 8th best kicking prospect coming out for the NFL draft, according to CBS Sportsline. Hit on 15 of 19, including a 52-yarder. So Washington State will score points, and the defense is much, much improved this season. Taking on Colorado State. Colorado State coming in at 7-6. They went 5-3 in the Mountain West under the head coaching of Jim McElwain, who's a Nick Saban disciple. Colorado State is very balanced on offense. 39th in the country in passing, 31st in rushing at 258 passing and 202 rushing. Very balanced, led by junior quarterback Garrett Grayson, who completed 62% of his passes, 21 touchdowns, 10 picks. Led by sophomore running back Capri Bibbs, who ran for 1,572 yards and 28 touchdowns. He led the Mountain West Conference in both touchdowns and rushing yardage by, get this, 400 yards rushing and 11 touchdowns. He had 11 more touchdowns rushing than the next best guy in the Mountain West Conference this season, Capri Bibbs. Look for him in the New Mexico Bowl coming up on Saturday. At wide receiver, you've got a freshman in Rashard Higgins, who caught 64 and 6 touchdowns, also a sophomore. So a lot of good prospects on this football team going forward at the skill position players. Sophomore Joe Hansley caught 48 with 1 touchdown. You've got a senior tight end in Crockett Gilmore, who's a fringe NFL prospect, rated right around 15th among the tight ends coming out in the April draft. He caught 43 passes this season and 2 touchdowns. And also another tight end in junior Kevon Cartwright, who led the Mountain West in receiving touchdowns from a tight end with 6. He caught 25 overall. Defensively, the playmakers to look out for in the New Mexico Bowl against Washington State. Shaquille Barrett, he had 12.5 sacks and 20.5 tackles for loss. Both of those figures were best in the Mountain West. Again, Shaquille Barrett, the #1 sack leader and the sack and tackles for loss leader in the Mountain West. He is a senior. He's coming out. He's the 27th rated outside linebacker, according to CBS Sports. Corey James, another playmaker that will be back in 2014 for Colorado State. 6.5 sacks and 10 tackles for loss. And also Trent Matthews with 4 interceptions. The best NFL prospect on this Colorado State team is the center, Weston Richbury, who is the 4th rated center by most services, coming out for you NFL draftniks who like to keep your eye, especially on these minor bowl games, looking for NFL draft prospects for April. Okay, that's my take on Colorado State taking on Washington State, but you watch the football games concerning these two football programs. We would like to hear from you now, right here on Mark Rogers TV.